Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Crumbl Mumbl, the podcast. I'm your host, Anna Tibbetts, and I'm so excited to have you here with us today. As you can tell, my voice is a little bit raspy today, but we are rolling with it. And thankfully, we have a guest today, so I can let him do most of the talking. Our guest today is Easton Allyn. Easton, thank you so much for being with us today on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. This is so exciting.
Yeah, and if I understand, this is your podcast debut. This is your first time guesting.
Yes, you know, I work on a lot of podcasts myself behind the mic, and this is my first time being in front of it, so it's really exciting for me.
Oh, so exciting! So you're an executive producer at iHeartMedia.
Yes. Right? So yes, I'm the executive producer for American Top 40 with Ryan Seacrest. I also work on a lot of iHeartRadio podcasts. Just a few of them: Scrubbing In with Becca Tilley and Tanya Rad, Drama Queens, Pod Meets World. Too many to name, but they're all fun, and I have a great time doing it.
Amazing! Thank you so much for telling us about that. Where are you from? Tell us a little bit more about you and what you're up to. I mean, you're doing podcasts all the time, which is great and a little bit intimidating that he's such a pro. But we're so excited to have him on ours today. But yeah, give us a little bit more background.
I grew up in Santa Cruz, California, in Northern California, and I live in Los Angeles now. And I love cookies. Let me tell you, I love them so much. I think that a cookie is such a perfect way to deliver so many different flavors. And I became a Crumbl fan immediately. So being here in these hollowed halls, it feels like I'm at Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. I'm sure you hear that all the time. It's just great. I can't stress how much I love cookies. They're amazing.
Okay, well, you're our kind of people. That's great to hear. We love people who love cookies, obviously. That's awesome.
It's great. It's great. And Crumbl is just, oh man, I just love it so much. I first became aware of them.
Yes. Tell us about your first time.
Yeah. So I started posting reviews on my Instagram.
Yes.
About a few months ago. And I'm a newcomer to Crumbl. We didn't have them in Southern California as much as we do now. But I had seen them on Instagram before. You know, I'd seen like some of the Real Housewives posting the big box with all the complicated flavors and stuff. And my friend David was like, there's a Crumbl near us now. You got to go check this place out. It is nuts. This place is wild. We got to go. So I went and I got, I'm trying to remember the first, it was like Rocky Road, honey bun. I think there was a cookie butter in there. And I posted it on Instagram, and my friends were like, well, you got to review them. You got to tell us what you liked. You can't just post it. Tell us what you thought.
You're teasing them,
right? Yeah. So I hopped on the front-facing camera, and I just kind of gave my thoughts. And now it's become something I like to do every week. You know, I love getting the new flavors. I love letting everyone know what I think of them. And it's great. Just the innovation I see out of Crumbl is so exciting. It's something that I haven't seen from a lot of other bakeries, and that's what draws me into them.
Totally, yeah. And I love what you said, where you feel like cookies are the perfect vehicle for a lot of flavor profiles.
Yes.
Because that's what we think too, right?
Yeah.
We like to say that we've taken, you know, any dessert, candy, treat you can think of and turned it into a cookie, right? Because we've got ice cream flavors that we've turned into cookies. We just released our first savory flavor, which is the everything bagel. You know, we've got it all across the board, any kind of treat, and now moving into more savory snacks too. We've taken and turned into a cookie. And something that I really loved about your reviews is you're brutally honest about what you think about the cookies, and I love that. I love that. Were you always like, when you started your reviews, did you like sugarcoat it and you were kind of nice, but then you were like, oh no, the people want to hear the real thing? Or were you just straight up from the beginning?
I was, you know, I kind of started playing it safe, but I also lived in this blissful ignorance that people at Crumbl were never going to see what I was saying.
Oh, so, look at you now.
and look at me now. Now I have to answer for my crimes. But also, I mean, the thing I like about Crumbl, and I've seen this from you guys on social media, is that you don't get super defensive or upset if someone doesn't like the cookies, because you guys take big swings sometimes.
Yes.
And that's what I love about it.
Yes.
There's some really wild flavors out there, and not all of them land. And so, I'm not a mean person. I don't like to get, you know, I'm a very nice person. I'm everybody's friend, but I also want to be honest because I consider myself a cookie journalist. I have integrity.
I love that.
I have to report them as I see them. So.
I love that, cookie journalist.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Maybe we'll give you a job. Maybe your title. That is fantastic. And I know like also with our customer base, and we've talked about this on a few previous episodes, but we take feedback like that very seriously, right? We've talked about this with Chelsea before when she was on the podcast. Every comment that is made on social media, publicly on our posts, is tallied up and taken into account as we redev those recipes as needed, right? So if you and 45 other people are saying, oh, this cookie was way too dry, that gets back to our R&D, and R&D is like, oh, what did we do here? Like, let's change it. Let's make it better. And they try to see, okay, is it something wrong with the recipe? Was it the store they went to? Whatever it might be. So keep it coming. Keep your honest evaluations coming. I love it.
I try to be specific because I don't want to just say this cookie sucks. I try to be like, this is too dry. It was too sweet. Those are the two biggest complaints that come out in my mind, that come to mind right away. But most of the time they're fantastic.
Oh, good.
Your batting average is incredible.
Oh, fantastic. That's what I like to hear. That's good. That is glowing praise from you. Speaking of you and our cookie flavors, we do have a caramel corn cookie. You have a nickname called the Caramel Corn Princess. Is that what it is?
I am the Caramel Corn Princess.
Tell us more about that. I'm so curious. I haven't dug too deep because I wanted to hear it from you first. Why is that your name?
All right, so here's the short version. There was a movie theater chain that is sadly no longer with us called ArcLight Cinemas. They were all over the country. Mm-hmm. They had an in-house caramel corn that they made. Okay. And in the summer of 2019, they announced this big campaign. This is the summer of caramel corn. They did a lot of collaborations and things like that. And but it wasn't really a focused campaign. They're just kind of celebrating it.
Yeah.
So my friend and I started making original art celebrating the caramel corn. And I started messaging ArcLight on Instagram and I said, hey, have you guys thought about naming like a Grand Marshal of the Summer of Caramel Corn or a Caramel Corn Princess like they do at the Rose Bowl? And they said, we haven't really thought about that. We'll get back to you. So I went on one of the podcasts I work on, Scrubbing In with Becca Tilly and Tanya Rad. And I just kind of mentioned at the end of the show one day, it'd mean a lot to me if you guys could message ArcLight and tell them to make me the Caramel Corn Princess. It would be, I consider it a favor. Oh, I thought no one was going to do it.
Yeah.
And then ArcLight came to my work and they gave me a crown. They gave me a sash. They named me the Caramel Corn Princess.
Shut up.
That was not a thing that was part of the promotion.
Oh my gosh.
I came up with that. I invented that title. They gave it to me and they were great. They were so nice about it and they were so cool. And it was really exciting. But I took that experience as a reminder that if there's something you want to accomplish, even if it doesn't exist, you can bully a PR company into a PR team into having to make a crown and give it to you.
That is awesome.
So and now ArcLight sadly didn't survive the pandemic. I am the only Caramel Corn Princess there.
The one and only.
I'm the only one.
You were so good. They didn't need another one.
It's one of my biggest accomplishments. My wife made me a crown and sash like case like real beauty queens have in our house. And then when my parents come over, they're like, "What the hell? What's this thing?" And I'm like, "Oh boy, okay, here we go."
You're like, let me tell you. Let me give you the details.
Yeah, so I am the Caramel Corn Princess.
Wow.
Forever.
Well, we are so honored that you're here at Crumbl, being
Thank
the caramel corn princess.
When you guys announced the caramel corn flavor, the caramel popcorn flavor, I just went through the roof. I was so excited because I like caramel corn a lot, but it's become such a big part of my identity now. I'm like, I was so excited. And that cookie, ooh, man, that cookie was a work of art.
That one's a good one.
So good.
That one's one of our one. If you like frosting, like if you're a frosting person, it's got this thick frosting on it and then real caramel corn on top of it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a really good cookie.
Okay, how did you source the caramel corn for that cookie? Did the stores make it in-house? Did you bring it in from outside?
No, so we sourced it in. Yeah.
Okay.
So I do all of the partnerships for our co-branded cookies. Actually, is another part of the job that I do here at Crumbl. And we got them from a little company. I'm trying to remember the name of the company. We got them from. They're not a huge company. Which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And so when we told them, we sell so many cookies a day, right? We have over 600 locations now. And with a really popular flavor like that, I mean, they sell tons of those a day. And so I remember we had to source it with them months in advance for them to be able to have enough. And they said that it was just lining their warehouse and their store walls with just caramel corn. But they're a really fantastic company. I'll have to go back and see. We did some social posts with them spotlighting the company, just because they're really great, high quality, family run, very similar to Crumbl. And so we wanted to highlight that on our socials, which we did. But that's how we did it, is we outsourced it from this cute little company.
And that's, I mean, I don't want to just gush on and on about Crumbl. You know, when I'm in the house of Crumbl, I must. That's something I love about you guys, is that you bring in all these other companies and these other brands and these to make it work into this cohesive experience. Whenever you do a partnership with another brand, I love that it's, you know, it'll be like Nutter or peanut butter featuring Nutter Butter, like it's a song or something. That's something I love about it. It's like it's another artist coming in. Yeah. It's so cool. This last week, a couple weeks ago, during Halloween, it was like Nerds and Butterfinger.
Yes, the Candy Week.
Oh,
yes.
Oh man, that was one for the ages.
Yep.
I loved it so much. I love seeing all the logos on the screen. It's just from start to finish, Crumbl is a ride, and I love it.
Oh, well, we're glad to have you on with it. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. And you know about artists and people being featured, because that's what you do all the time, right? Yeah,
you know, on American Top 40, we count down the biggest songs from the rocky coast of Maine to the sandy shores of Hawaii, and that's something. Because my day-to-day job, I count down the biggest songs in the country.
Yeah.
It's just rating things and ranking them. It's in my DNA. It's part of my routine. So that's why I'm drawn to reviewing the cookies and ranking them on Instagram. Mm-hmm. So that's been a really fun part of it too.
That's so cool. Yeah, and you do a great job. You do a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I'll stop.
Okay, well, speaking of ranking, we're gonna wrap up with one last question. It's a tough question. It's the hardest question I ask people on here. Give us your top 3 Crumbl flavors and your bottom 3. We usually don't ask for the bottom 3, but with your track record, I'd love to hear what your least favorite and your most favorite are.
All right. I mean, should I start with the bottom or the top?
Let's start with the bottom.
All right.
We'll end on a high note.
All
there
right.
You go.
I'm going to tell you the cookies that deeply offended me on a personal level. The ones that
perfect.
I felt like they threatened my family. I dislike these cookies immensely.
Okay, taking notes.
I think my least favorite of all time was the chocolate chip pumpkin.
Really?
I really disliked that one.
Whoa.
It was very dry. The pumpkin flavor didn't come through to me. I had a really bad time with that cookie. I disliked that one quite a bit. I also did not like the pineapple upside down cake.
What?
Yes.
That's like a fan favorite. People beg for that one to come back. I'm so surprised.
I posted online. I got a lot of feedback from people that also really liked it. The pineapple ring, when I bit into it, it did not snap in the way I hoped it would. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't need to belabor it with why I didn't like it, but
this is great. This is great.
I strongly disliked that one. And then the other one that comes to mind that I really did not like, the lemonade. I was really excited about lemonade. It let me down in a big way.
Interesting. Was it? I know we have over 200 flavors, so forgive me if I'm thinking of the wrong flavor. I know we have like a raspberry lemonade. Was it just a straight up lemonade?
Straight up lemonade. Okay. I'm trying to remember what week this was part of, because the rest of the flavors that week were really great, and I can't remember exactly what else was there. But it had a hunk of lemon on it, and it was so sweet. And the icing was, I don't know if this is just my location, but the icing was so thick, which normally is a plus for me. But it was just far too intense. I couldn't get through it.
It was just a lot. Yeah.
So those are my bottom 3. But now let's move on to the positive.
Top 3.
We like to be optimistic here. And it's so hard to pick because Crumbl has so many great ones. I have an honorable mention too.
Oh, great! This is fantastic. This is what we wanted.
My favorite. I'll go 3, 2, 1. We'll do it that way.
Okay, fantastic.
Number 3, cinnamon fry bread. I love that one so much.
Mm-hmm, that's a good choice.
Oh my goodness. What a symphony of flavors that one was.
Oh.
I loved it so much. Number 2, mellow sandwich featuring Oreo or Oreo parentheses.
The people's choice.
Yes. Was that
so did you know? Yeah. So that cookie, we actually had everyone on socials vote on each component of the cookie. And ended up being every element was Oreo. And we already have so many Oreo cookies. Our R&D was like, what are we supposed to do? So they made a brand new recipe with brownies in it as well. And it's that mallow sandwich. People love it.
That thing, I went back immediately and got more. I loved it so. That thing is fantastic.
Yes.
And then number 1 for me is honey bun. I love honey bun. It's fantastic. I can't wait for it to come back. It's so good. The glaze, the texture, the name, honey bun. That's fun to say. I want to be called honey bun. I mean, like, it's a term of endearment. I love it so much. This I always wanted it to come up as a mystery cookie. I haven't hit it yet in my area. Honey bun is my favorite. But the honorable mention has to be, and please forgive me for looking at my notes.
You're fine. There's a lot of cookie flavors.
Oh my goodness, how could I not? Caramel popcorn. How did I not mention caramel popcorn? Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Caramel popcorn. When I reviewed it, I said this is my favorite cookie Crumbll's ever done.
Wow.
It's that thing, not just because of the caramel corn association.
Yes,
it was just,
of course.
The frosting was so great. The caramel corn you got, as we discussed, it was fantastic. It was such a ride. It had a little bit of a salty bite to it. I loved it so much. Oh man, the caramel popcorn. Bravo. Fantastic. Standing ovation.
Good. I'm so glad you liked it so much. But it got kicked down from your top 3.
You know, it's hard to rank them. It's so hard to rank them, but yes, it had to get in the honorable mention category. For reasons that I'm not at liberty to discuss. But yeah, I love it so much.
But hey, I was going to say, if you love it that much, and then there were 3 more above it, that means all 4 of those cookies have got to be pretty good.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's always a good thing. Yeah,
yes.
That's always a good thing. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast today.
Thank you for having me. This has been such a thrill. I have dreamed of this moment. I'm like,
clearly, yes.
Yes, I can't believe I'm finally here. This is fantastic.
So cool. Well, thank you again, Easton, for being on the podcast. We will see you guys on the next episode. Thanks. Bye.